The dungeon doesn't have a name, that's the point. It doesn't appear on any registry map, doesn't show in any licensed guild's clearance log, doesn't exist anywhere a person could point to on a chart and say, someone is in there. Lord Aldrin Vosen built it 7 years ago for exactly this purpose, and tonight, with his firstborn son sleeping 20 meters underground, and the entry seal locked behind 17 layers of mana thread, he considers the problem solved. Kale wakes in the dark. Not the comfortable dark of a room with curtains drawn. The absolute dark of stone walls 3 meters thick on all sides. No windows, no torch fixtures, no rift light. He reaches for his hunter band, the thin gold-threaded bracelet every registered member of the Kalmir Guild Registry wears, and finds bare wrist. His name is gone from the band. The band itself is gone. He reaches further, into the mental space where his registry file lives, the internal sense every hunter develops of their own rank and class designation, and finds nothing, a smooth wall where data used to be. He sits with that for a moment. The sedative his father's men used is wearing off. His wrists ache from the transport restraints. There is no food in the dungeon. There is a shallow trough of water cut into the stone floor, enough to keep a person alive for a few weeks, and that tells him everything about the intended duration of this arrangement. Duran, his younger twin, 2 minutes and 40 seconds his junior, wearing his name and his rank in Kalmir City right now. Duran, who came to him 3 days ago with a bottle of wine, and the familiar smile, and a story about reconciling. Duran, who poured the glass and handed it across, and watched him drink. Kale runs his fingers along the wall. Solid mana-forged granite. No seams, no drainage line. The seal overhead is visible in the faint residual glow of its own lock threads. 17 interlocked spirals pressing down from the ceiling. An S-rank breaker would need 6 hours, and a full party to unravel that from the inside. Kale doesn't have an S-rank class. Until 48 hours ago, his file read, B-rank combat, House Vosen seat, #1, registry standing, licensed. Now it reads nothing, because his file is Darren's file, and Darren has the rank, the seat, the name, and the plan. The system speaks again, in the same flat notification tone, and this time, it says something new. Kale reads the notification twice. Then he stands up, rolls his shoulders, and looks at the seal overhead. Hollow Step activates with the natural ease of breathing. His mana signature drops to nothing. The seal's detection threads, tuned to alert on any active mana source in the chamber, find no trigger. The lock threads are keyed to scan for presence. Kale has no presence. He walks up the wall in absolute darkness, his fingers reading the stone by touch, the shadow force moving through his body like cold water finding its level, until his palm presses against the underside of the seal, and the lock threads scan him and find nothing to respond to. The seal opens because it does not know he is there. He surfaces into a forest, 40 kilometers south of Kalmir, in the pre-dawn cold, in a coat that smells of sedative and stone. He has no money, no identification, no guild band. He has a class the registry cannot measure, because the registry does not know he exists. That, he decides, is enough to start. 3 years is a long time if you spend it being Darren Vosen. The noble coalition that his brother built in those 3 years is impressive, Kale has to admit. Darren is charming in a way Kale never was. Warm where Kale ran cold, easy where Kale ran careful. In the first 6 months after the erasure, Darren leveraged the House Vosen seat and Kale's transferred B-rank file to propose a registry consolidation. 5 noble houses pooling their tier slots into a single block, with House Vosen holding the administrative key. Lord Aldrin had the political weight. Darren had the smile. By month 8, 3 of the 5 houses had signed. By the end of year 1, the Vosen block held the largest registered hunter seat count in Kalmir's history, and Darren's name appeared in the Kalmir Gazette 11 times. Kale watched all of it from the dark. He doesn't announce himself when he returns to the city. Hollow Step makes that trivial. He passes checkpoints, registry scanners, the mana ID gates at the city wall without a single sensor registering his approach. He sleeps in the sealed back rooms of buildings whose owners don't know he's there. He eats from market stalls with the careful efficiency of a man who has no money and every reason to leave no evidence. The shadow force grows each day as erasure echo accumulates, not from combat, but from simply existing in proximity to the stolen records, feeling the wrongness of Darren's name sitting in his file, like a stone in a shoe that belongs to someone else's foot. He begins with the edges. Lord Terran Malt is the weakest link in the Vosen block, an anxious man who joined because Aldrin leaned on him, and who has spent 2 years quietly regretting it. Kale finds the private mana correspondence Malt has been holding, 4 letters to a registry lawyer in the eastern city, asking about the cost and process of withdrawing a block membership without triggering penalty clauses. He finds the letters in the locked drawer of Malt's personal study, at 2 in the morning, reads them in the moonlight coming through the window, and puts them back exactly as he found them. 3 days later, that lawyer in the eastern city receives a packet of documentation that appears to have originated from the Kalmir Registry Arbitration Board, a pro forma notification that the penalty clause Malt feared has been quietly waived on procedural grounds, effective immediately. Malt withdraws from the Vosen block within a week. His lawyers cite personal health reasons. Aldrin is furious but has nothing to pursue. House Cauldron is next. Their representative, Lady Amara Cauldron, has been managing a quiet overpromise to both the Vosen block and a competing trade guild simultaneously, a double contract that would void both agreements if either party saw the full picture. Kale ensures both parties see it at the same time, through separate registry intermediaries, in the same week. The resulting legal dispute ties Cauldron's assets in arbitration for 4 months and makes it structurally impossible for them to honor their block seat obligations. They withdraw under force majeure. He doesn't announce himself. He doesn't leave signatures. Hollow step means every room he enters, every document he reads, every lock he crosses. Nothing. No trace, no record, no name. By the end of year 2, the Vosen block is down to 3 houses. Darren's Kalmir Gazette mentions have tapered. Aldrin has begun attending registry board dinners in person, which Kale reads as anxiety. The grand registry ceremony, the annual coronation of the top seat holders in the licensed hunter ranks, the ceremony at which Darren is scheduled to formally accept the House Vosen #1 designation and have it sealed into the permanent bloodline record, is 8 months away. Erasure Echo reaches full accumulation 6 months before the ceremony. Kale sits in the shadow of a building 3 blocks from the registry tower and reads the notification with the same stillness he reads everything. Then he waits 6 more months, because he wants to do it in front of everyone. The grand registry ceremony runs the first week of the new year, in the great hall of the Kalmir Registry Tower, with every licensed noble house in the city present, and the proceedings broadcast live on the city's public mana channel. Darren Vosen arrives in a black and gold coat, House Vosen colors, with Lord Aldrin 3 steps behind him, and 2 registry officials flanking both. The hall holds 400 people. The ceremony officiator is Senior Registrar Edel Vorn, who has run this ceremony for 16 years, and has never had it interrupted. Kale enters through the East Service Corridor at the moment the officiator begins reciting the registry coronation oath. Hollow Step is active. The ceremony's mana detection array registers nothing. He moves through the crowd like smoke through still air, between people, past the registry officials standing at the perimeter, to a position 12 meters behind and to the left of the officiator's dais. He can see Darren's face from here. Darren looks confident, comfortable, like a man about to receive something he deserves. The officiator reaches the final clause. Do you accept the permanent bloodline inscription of the registry designation currently held under your file, to be sealed in perpetuity, under your name and your house? Kale steps out of the shadow. Hollow Step releases. His mana signature returns to the world all at once. SSS tier equivalents flooding the hall's detection array in a single spike. Every sensor in the building screams. 400 people turn toward the east side of the hall. The mana display panels overhead, which show the live registry file data of anyone whose signature the array detects, populate with a file. Not Darren's file, Kale's. Or rather, the file that is about to be Kale's again. The display panels flicker. On the officiator's podium, the physical coronation document, the vellum sheet bearing Darren's name above the House Vosen #1 designation, begins to change. The ink lifts, not fades, lifts, like smoke rising from a page, the letters dissolving letter by letter from Darren's name, and reforming, not on the vellum, but on the air above it, and then settling. Resettling. The document now reads, Kale Vosen, House Vosen Seat, #1, Registry Standing, SSS/above classification. On the display panels, Darren Vosen's file, rank, transferred back. Class designation, null. Registry standing, unregistered. The hall is completely silent. Darren turns. He sees his twin for the first time in 3 years. Older, unhurried, wearing nothing but a plain dark coat and the absolute stillness of a man who has already done the only thing that needed doing. Darren's mouth opens. His registry band goes cold on his wrist. He reaches up and touches it, and his fingers come back empty. The record has left it. The band is blank. Kale, he starts. Kale is already looking at their father. Lord Aldrin Vosen stands 3 steps behind the dais, where his younger son is no longer being coronated. His face has gone the color of old stone. He is a man who has spent 3 years building a house on someone else's foundation, and the foundation has just been reclaimed. And he knows, in the way powerful men always know the moment something has become irreversible, that there is nothing left to negotiate. No emergency registry motion, no emergency block meeting, no legal instrument filed at speed. The record route doesn't respond to appeals. It never has. Aldrin Vosen lowers himself to one knee. It is not a graceful gesture. It is the gesture of a man who has run out of any other option and chooses the least terrible remaining one. Senior Registrar Vorn looks between the document, the display panels, and the man standing 12 meters from the dais, and does the only thing a 16-year veteran of the registry can do with a completed record devour. She picks up her officiator's seal, and she waits to be told where to press it. Here, Kale says, and indicates the document, and she presses it without another word. The House Vosen #1 designation is sealed. The bloodline inscription completes. The registry file locks. It is, as the system noted, irreversible. Darren is still reaching from the dais. Kale turns away from his brother and walks toward the hall's main exit. 400 people clear a path without being asked. The mana display panel over the door still shows his file, SSS/above classification, Shadow Inheritor, House Vosen Seat, #1, Kale Vosen, and it is the only name on any panel in the room that means anything now. He doesn't look back. Outside, the first light of the new year is breaking over Calmere, cold and clean, and indifferent to what just happened in the registry tower. Kale walks in it without hurrying. The shadow force is quiet in him now. Not gone, not depleted, but settled, the way a tide settles after it has gone as far as it was ever going to go. He has his name. He has his rank. He has the record the system kept for him in the void, accumulating for 3 years, waiting for exactly this moment. There is nothing else he needs from that room. He keeps walking.